Welcome to the What If Factor Living Beyond the Question Mark podcast with Dr. Williams, the show that inspires you to live a life without regrets, a life beyond the question mark. And now, let's listen to today's episode.
In part one, we took a look at the importance of embracing failure as a learning opportunity and moving forward by faith. Moving by faith requires trusting in a greater plan, letting go of control, and overcoming doubts and fears. Looking forward with optimism, courage, and the desire for self-actualization should outweigh our attempts to dwell in the past. As I thought about part two of the question, I wanted to give more attention to setting the stage for living beyond the question mark. It bears repeating that we avoid asking questions because we fear the answers. You see, the question is the easy part. It is the revelation that follows that scares most people. Because the revelation brings about an ignored conviction of things you need to change to live the life you seek. You see, my mom had a Yorkie by the name of Trixie, who thought that she was the smartest being in the room. You could tell when Trixie was avoiding something because she would go out of her way to stay out of your way. One day, my dad had this bag of cookies on the end table. Somehow, Trixie found a way to go from the floor to the chair and over to the table. Now, you can imagine what happened next. She had devoured the cookies and left a trail of evidence behind. When my mom found the remains of the bag, she called out to Trixie. Now, usually, when my mom called out to her, she came immediately. But this time, she didn't make her grand entrance until my mother had called her name for the third time with a little more force. She came slowly with her head lowered. It was like she was taking one step per second because she knew why she was being called. My mother said, "Trixie, what did you do?" Trixie turned her head to the side as if my mother wasn't talking to her, as if turning her head to the side somehow allowed her to avoid the question and the truth of what had happened. Now, I'm not encouraging you to steal someone's cookies. Instead, I'm trying to get you to understand that sometimes when we don't want to face the truth, or as some would say, face the music, we take our time in walking towards the question because the answer may not go in our favor. We look in every direction for distractions to derail us from what we know to be true, because there is conviction and work to be done in knowing the truth. I could go on and on about the things Trixie did that made her seem more human than animal, but I want to turn my attention to the journey you must take. You see, regardless of our beliefs, God plays a significant role in our journey towards living without regret. He knows what we are capable of and uses challenges and trials to shape us into stronger individuals. Even in the face of danger or uncertainty, God is always there to protect and guide us. Just like when a child attempts to take their first step, the parent is always there watching and ensuring that they are in no real danger, but they give them the space they need to try something new. In the same fashion, God gives us the grace we need to run this race called life. and learn from all of its ups and downs. Before he commissioned the foundation of this very world, he saw you and everything that you would go through. He even knew that Adam and Eve would eat the forbidden fruit and then hide from him once their eyes had been opened. God could have stopped them, but he gave us a gift not even given to the angels called free will, the power to make a choice. In this journey called life, we will make choices. Those choices determine the route and the time it will take to reach our place of destiny. The only person responsible for the journey you take and what you experience along the way is you. But one thing I can say for certain, by trusting in his plan and tapping into the power within, we can overcome any obstacles and emerge victorious. Hear me in this. One of the worst things you can ever do in life is compare yourself to others. I've heard it referred to as trying to keep up with the Joneses. Now, I'm not sure what's so special about the Joneses, but one thing I can say is you cannot believe everything you see. In the age of social media, we are in a world where we see people's lives as they would like you to believe they exist. How many times have you seen someone reveal the pain or hardship endured along the way to the celebration and prosperity displayed on social media? Just as time and chance happens to us all, trials and tribulations find their way even to the best of us. So stop comparing yourself to others. If you feel that you are not where you should be in life, then you need to spend the time focusing on where you need to be and the work necessary to get there. Believing in something without putting in the work is dead on arrival. Though I'm not advocating for it, sometimes you may spend 40 years in the wilderness before you reach your place of destiny. You see, the time you spend in the wilderness, be it 4 days, 4 months, 4 years, or even 40 years, is dependent upon you aligning with your purpose, following the plan God has for you, because his understandings are beyond our understandings, and embracing your destiny instead of running from it. The pace at which you run this race is not dictated by others, nor does it match the pace of others. What it takes for them to reach the finish line is not what it will take for you to reach the finish line. The sooner you realize this, the sooner you can begin the work necessary to complete the race. We all know the story of the tortoise and the hare. What we often overlook in the story is speed does not dictate a winner. The concept of winning or finishing first versus last is a human construct. Our focus, above all else, should be on finishing the race because the outcome is the same no matter where you place. One of the most important things we overlook in life is the value of consistency and commitment. Consistency and commitment are essential to achieving our goals and living without regret. Consistency allows us to stay focused and dedicated to our dreams, even when faced with seemingly insurmountable challenges. You see, consistency allows us to build and reinforce a belief in our abilities. It empowers us to develop the endurance necessary to reach our goals. When consistency is coupled with commitment, not only are we able to conquer giants and move mountains, but we are able to stay in agreement with our purpose and live a life unleashed beyond the question mark. If you take nothing else from this, I want you to understand that in order to live a life without regret and pursue your dreams requires that you embrace faith. And it requires that you begin to confront the questions that are holding you back. I want you to understand that by moving forward with faith, trusting in a higher power, and learning from your failure, you can overcome your fears and doubts. You have the breath of life in your body. This means you have the ability to be a creator of the life you desire, and a creator of the environment in which you can thrive. So don't turn away from the hard questions. Embrace the difficult answers. Put in the work and watch how things change.
Thank you for tuning into another episode of The What If Factor, Living Beyond the Question Mark podcast with Dr. Williams. If you would like more information about The What If Factor and where to purchase the book, please visit thewhatiffactor.com. Until next time, remember, in the grand tapestry of life, every thread, vibrant or dull, contributes to a masterpiece that captures the essence of our unique journey. As always, our prayer for each of you is that you prosper and be in good health.